welcome to Labor Lens. I am Sharon Ijason. On this week edition of the program, we'll be focusing on the banking and insurance sector and the recapitalization deadline by the Central Bank of Nigeria. We also have news stories for you. We will be right back.
The Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities says staff of federal universities are currently facing financial strain following the delay in payment of their February 2026 salaries. In a statement signed by its national president, Mohammed Ibrahim, the union described the development as troubling, noting that many workers depend on timely salaries to meet daily obligations. SANU says the delay is particularly difficult for members observing the Ramadan and Lenten fasting periods. The union also raised concerns about what it describes as inconsistencies in the federal government's salary payment process, citing recent switches between the Government Integrated Financial Management Information System (GIFMIS) and the remitter payment platform. According to SANU, the government should consider adopting the remitter platform as a more reliable channel for salary payments.
Since our exit from IPPIS, the story has taken untold hardship. Is that of untold hardship by our members? We are paid virtually the second week of every new month. And this has created a lot of problem because our members must commute daily from their domiciles to their workplaces. That GiveMe's platform has so many people that work on it before payments are made. From people who prepare the salary, to people who check it, the people who enable it, and then those that they call finalizers. And this happens at the office of GiveMe in Abuja. And every of our universities will have to start moving to Abuja every now and then. And then in January, we just woke up and realized that all our finalizers were also removed from the platform. So it became impossible to make payments. And when the problem became persistent, federal government decided, or the Accountant General's office decided to move us to Remitter. And the Remitter platform, which we have been using in the universities, we realize is even more friendly because all we need to do, actually, if they should place us on Remitter platform, is for each university to open a personnel account and payments will be made seamless. And then, as if that was not enough, by February, the month has just ended. They removed us again from the Remitter and put us back on the GiveMe's platform.
Beyond the salary delay, the union expressed dissatisfaction with the slow pace of the ongoing renegotiation process between the federal government and non-teaching university unions. SANU says while discussions are ongoing under the leadership of the federal government renegotiation committee chaired by Yayale Ahmed, the process has yet to reach a conclusive resolution. The union also faulted recent public remarks suggesting that industrial harmony has been fully restored in the university system, insisting that negotiations with non-teaching staff unions are still ongoing. SANU is therefore calling on the federal government to ensure the immediate payment of the outstanding salaries and accelerate the renegotiation process. The union warned that failure to address these concerns could force it to consider further actions, including possible withdrawal of services.
All the unions met with the different committees of government, and that nobody could recall at this point when and how ASU's agreement was signed differently from other unions in the non-teaching cadre. But in the wisdom of the current people in the Ministry of Education, which we fault till today, they decided to stagger the renegotiation exercise. That of ASU was done. We congratulated them, everybody. But the one of the non-teaching staff, as enthusiastic as the committee is, they are handicapped because they also need to have clearance from the federal government through the Ministry of Education to do the discussion. We work in the same environment. People are feeling frustrated. because the circular has come and our colleagues in the teaching cadre have been paid, from January, and that recall that we are also the ones paying because the accountants are our members, and you can understand how it feels. You work in the same environment with your colleagues, and a certain increment was made for them, and you are the ones implementing the increment, and you are there, looking like a second-class citizen, and that you don't even know when you will be paid. And you go to the same market, your children go to the same school, you do the same activity within the community, and that you are shortchanged. And we even criticize, the media frenzy of the signing of agreement of ASU in public.
The message from the presidency is clear. Education is not just a policy focus, but a key pillar of national development. Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, told student leaders that the administration is committed to investing in the future of Nigerian youth. But with that investment, it says, comes responsibility. Gbajabiamila urged students to take the lead in tackling social vices on campuses, including drug abuse, cultism, and prostitution, describing institutions as centers not just for learning but for character building.
I want to charge you, even at this meeting, to please take it as part of the curriculum, unspoken or unwritten rather, curriculum of your universities or of your tenure. So make sure as you talk to students, as you talk to your colleagues regarding the academics and the politics, please place emphasis on morality, drug.
He also highlighted ongoing efforts by the government to stabilize the education sector, noting that sustained engagement with the Academic Staff Union of Universities has helped Nigeria avoid prolonged strikes in the recent years. The Chief of Staff added that initiatives like the Student Loan Scheme are already supporting indigent students to remain in school. Also speaking, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Student Engagement, Sunday Ashefon, said government interventions are helping to restore predictability to the academic calendar. For the students, the message was one of appreciation and expectation. President of the National Association of Nigerian Students, Olushola Oladoja, commended what he described as increased government support for the sector.
Since the inception of 1999, a democracy in this country, this is the first president that decided to give student loan to go to school. Some of us are students of history that followed this association for the past 4 or 5 years before we eventually became the president. I know your role, your fatherly role and leadership role you played as a speaker for this NEL fund to be established.
For both government and students, the goal is the same: a stable, accessible, and forward-looking education system.
On the profile interview segment this week, I was speaking with the acting national president of ASBIFI, Comrade Nike Joseph. She spoke about the bank and insurance recapitalization while emphasizing the role which workers will play in it and how it will affect the industry. It's good to have you on the program.
It's a pleasure having you too.
A lot has been happening in the world of work,
Yes.
especially in the financial sector.
Yes.
So can you tell us how has the workers been faring in the financial sector? How has it been for bankers, for those in the insurance sector? How have you been coping?
Well, I would say it is not easy, but of course God has been good. We are fully prepared, especially when we heard about recapitalization in the two sectors, insurance and of course bank. Bank will crystallize end of this month, and of course insurance later in the year, June, July. So I would say in a way we are prepared for it. We have enough time to prepare, and of course as Association of Workers, we are also into it. So we are not taken by surprise.
So would you say that workers are working under more pressure because we know that we've seen some banks merge? We don't know if there are many more to come. So what has been the feedback so far? Are workers calm? Are they relaxed? Are they confident that there won't be any job loss? Or is there any adjustments that you foresee that some workers will actually have to, partake in to sustain their means of livelihood?
I would say we don't have that fear, because as we speak, we don't have a record of any job loss as we speak. But that does not mean that we are closing our eyes. We are also monitoring events. Yes, most likely we have some mergers, because we know some that already is in the process. They will soon consummate. But majorly, I would say the banks are faring well. We have some of them that have already scaled through the hurdle of recapitalization, and some at the advanced stage already of scaling through. So we'll still see a lot of them that would scale through at the end of the day, while we have maybe one or two measures.
So for those that have been able to merge, what has been the feedback from the workers in those banks?
The mergers have not fully consummated.
No, but there's one or two that has been successful.
Not fully.
Oh,
not
really?
fully, yes,
Okay.
not fully.
They are still transitioning.
Yes, that I would say.
Okay, so how has the feedback been in that
It's
regard?
been good. We've been in touch with the banks, the two banks, and of course we're also monitoring events there. That I would say.
So looking at the changing world of work, would you say that there's a need for training and retraining, or is there any form of engagement that the association has been able to do for its members to ensure that you are up to date with what is necessary to keep the job alive?
We can't overemphasize the place of training. And of course, we know that our organizations are also training their staff. But beyond that, we take it upon ourselves to ensure that our members too, on their own, reskill, they retool, so that they will be available for the future, for the future ahead.
So looking at the bank recapitalization, for an average person that is not in the finance sector, can you break it down? What does this mean for the, not consumers this time, for the customers?
The banking public.
Yes, and the financial sector as well.
What recapitalization means is a stronger bank, a better economy, peace of mind, comfort, confidence for the banking public. And of course for us as a union too, it gives us confidence that of course the welfare of our staff will be well catered for this time around, because the banks will have enough money to do their business. So it's going to give members of the public confidence, because the banks will come out stronger than they were before the time of recapitalization. So as many of them as are able to scale through or get involved in merger or acquisition, at the end of the day, everybody will be happy for it.
Looking at the welfare of workers, there's this perception out there that those that work in the financial sector work under lots of pressure, and probably maybe there are not enough hands in that system. How true is this perception?
I would say there's no work that there's no pressure, but it now depends on what we perceive or what we agree to be pressure. There's pressure everywhere. Yes, bank workers are working under pressure. Even insurance workers too are working under pressure. But they are, because of technology and the rest of it, we are being helped a lot. So that is it. A lot of bureaucracy have been caught. So it is not out of place, and it is not. It is okay. I would say there's pressure everywhere. Yes, there's pressure on the job, but at least there's something that we can cope with.
But are there other better ways that you suggest that managers or business owners or bank owners are actually, what more can they do to manage the industry to ensure that the world of work is a better place for those in the finance sector?
Okay, number one of it is that you don't, where we need to use technology to help people, banks are doing that, but where they need to do more, they should do. Also, where people need to have a break, people should be allowed to. But of course, we also encourage our members to speak out. Anytime they are going through issues, we encourage them to speak out. And we take it up with members, with the organizations, any of them that is found wanting, we take it up so that at the end of the day, we don't end up losing people unnecessarily to any eventuality. So we encourage members to speak up, but of course, we also encourage them to move with innovation.
About 16 banks have been able to scale through the hurdle. We still have about 13 more to go. Do you think the deadline by the Central Bank of Nigeria do you think it's practicable? Do you think it's something that can work? Or would you say that they have enough, would you say that it's a fair deal for everyone in the sector? Will everybody be able to meet up?
I would say majority will be able to meet up if we have that number. From what I read last, about 20 of them, leaving us with about 11 or thereabouts to meet up. And even out of the 11, we learned that some are at the advanced stage of being cleared. So I want to believe majority would make it at the end of the day. But of course, even if they give us more than 2 years, it may still end up being the same story. There's no time that is ever enough. Let's see what happens. But if it is going to be possible for us to have an extension, why not?
So what is the disadvantage of not having a recapitalization process take place in any given society, be it in Nigeria, Africa, or even across the globe?
First disadvantage is that economy will not grow. But in this case, we are going to see a tremendous growth in the economy, especially in this sector. There will be more investment, especially from foreign investments would come. Of course, there will be more confidence. There will be more capital available for banks to trade. So that means there will be more money in the society. People will be able to have access to loan. Then even risk appetite will increase because there will be more money to trade. So people will have access to loans and the rest of it from banks. So that means the economy will boom at the end of recapitalization. So it is a very good thing for any society. So any society that doesn't do that is likely to be stagnant or retrogress. But if any economy that engages in continuous recapitalization will, of course, progress.
And looking at the insurance sector, what are the steps for them to, what are the steps that they are going through right now? What would you say are the steps that the insurance sector is actually going through right now ahead of their own deadline? And what other provisions do you think government can act, or any other stakeholder can actually put in place for a truly, robust insurance sector?
Number one of it is that I know that some of them are going to the capital markets. Some of them are doing private placement. And of course, there is opportunity of merger and acquisition. So all companies are expected to explore that depending on their capacity. So I want to believe at the end of the day, majority would go with the tide. Majority would make it at the end of the day. But of course, companies should know their strengths and they should be able to latch on the opportunities that are available to them out there. So that at the end of the day, we will have many more companies scaling through the process of recapitalization.
So what will be your expectation from workers in your sector? What will be your expectation from your members going forward?
Yes, one of it is that members should innovate. Because if you don't innovate, you are likely to go with the tide. But if you innovate, then of course I expect increased performance from our members. I also expect that our members will reskill so that they'll be able to move with the tide. So that is it. But at the end of the day, you don't envisage too much job loss. And of course, if that happens at all, the union is up to it. We are ready.
Is this an opportunity for the advocacy of a reduction in the casualization of workers in the sector? Would you say that has been eradicated totally? Is this a platform for more engagement with management?
Yes, it is a platform to engage management on the issue of casualization. It has not been eradicated. In fact, it is there on a large scale. But we are not resting on our oars. We are working around the clock to ensure that as many members as possible are integrated. There is a guideline that came out towards the end of the last administration of the then minister. There was a guideline he signed, and of course we are working towards it to ensure that this comes into play. We are working with our junior counterparts, Nubife, to ensure that this works for us. And at the end of the day, we have more people coming into the the mainstream. But even at that, at the level of casualization, people should have life. They are not expected to lose their jobs. They are not expected to be stagnant on one position for a long time. So we are working towards it to ensure that even people in the casual sector, under casualization, are also taken into consideration in all those things.
So has there been any feedback from the Ministry of Labour as regards ensuring that if at all there is a contract work, it should be a better contract deal?
Yes, I would say yes, because we have meetings with them on the regular, and of course I would say they are doing a lot, even though they too have their own issues, teaching problems here and there, but I would say they are doing a lot in that regard.
You're a woman, and you're a woman, and we are one of the few female leaders in the labor sector. So I'm excited to talk to you at this particular point in time, and owing to the fact that it's the Women's Month. Generally, what would you say we've advanced in the world of work? Would you say that we've been given that opportunity, or would you say we are the ones holding ourselves from, reaching or aiming up in terms of leadership?
I would say women have really, really advanced, because if you look at organizations, those banks that we're talking, even insurance, you see female managing directors here and there, a lot of them everywhere. So we have really, really advanced. Even in the union, we see higher participation of women this time around, better than before. People are more enlightened. People are now more interested, unlike before when people withdraw and all that. You see a lot of participation here and there. So I would say the enlightenment is there. I would say the interest has increased greatly, and we now know our rights. We go for our rights. We see harassment reducing here and there. A lot of it, women stand up to fight for their rights this time around. You don't need to be told, and you don't need any man to do it. You do it yourself.
So would you say the use of social media has enhanced that?
Of
or
course,
could
yes.
it be used further to promote the cause of more leadership participation or more active participation generally?
It has helped in a way, but it can be better. It has helped in a way. People are exposed, people are enlightened, we see what happens everywhere. So the interest has increased greatly. So social media has worked, and of course it can help further.
So would you say you believe in the quota system, or you believe in women playing their own role and also aiming for what they feel they can do?
The quota helps. However, women on their own should take their position, should take their place anywhere. We should fight for it. We should go for it. Whatever is due for us should be given to us. We should know how to go about getting what is right for us. The quota system can then come later. But I think these days, people no longer get positions because they are women. They go all out for it. It's everywhere. They fight for it and they get it.
What would be your message to any young person or a girl child watching us right now as regards what they can do to be better or take leadership positions in any place or field of life?
I would say this time around, the sky is the beginning. So go girl, go out there, rule your world, and that is it. If you desire it, you can be sure you will get it. Just desire it in your mind, go for it, and before you know it, you are there at the top. So everything is possible, I would say.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And that's all we can take on today's edition of the program. Join us next week for a fresh edition of the show. I am Sharon Ijason. Thanks for watching, and remember that labor creates wealth.